Brasil-Ecuador, Edu, cuando quieras.
Todo preparado efectivamente para ver el match ball de Brasil en esta Copa América. Llevamos una semana de match ball para los grandes. Empezamos en la madrugada del lunes con la última oportunidad para Argentina. Lo solventó bien el equipo de Sergio Batista frente a Costa Rica. Anoche hacía lo propio Uruguay, aunque con más problemas por los fallos ante la portería rival. Y hoy le toca a Brasil. Acaba de sonar el himno ecuatoriano, tiempo ahora para que suene el himno de Brasil.
El himno nacional de Brasil.
Ha sonado también el himno brasileño en este estadio. Mario Alberto Kempes de Córdoba. Recuerden, última jornada de este grupo B. Match ball para Brasil. Necesita ganar. Luego ya les iremos contando poco a poco todas las combinaciones posibles.
Un pequeño detalle, Edu. Ahí hemos visto cuando acaba el himno de Brasil, Maicon se ha dado la vuelta, ha gritado a todos sus compañeros. Eso es lo que necesita Brasil, más unión entre sus jugadores. Ha habido polémica, declaraciones de Lucio críticas desde Brasil. Y los jugadores necesitan estar unidos para demostrar su fútbol y clasificarse a la siguiente ronda. Muy bien, Maicon, que empieza muy bien su paso, su inicio en esta Copa América.
Luego hablaremos de esas polémicas declaraciones de Lucio reclamando más compromiso con la camiseta, un ejercicio un poquito populista, quizás de manera gratuita por parte del veteranísimo capitán de la selección brasileña. Luego lo comentaremos, pero es verdad que Brasil salta al Estadio Córdoba muy enchufada.
Bueno, acabamos de oír a Thiago Silva también, perdona Luisme, comentar a matar el partido cuanto antes. Eso, la verdad es que es la primera vez en esta Copa América, este es el tercer partido, que veo a la selección brasileña salir con esos ánimos, se les ve muy mentalizados, por lo tanto yo espero un cambio radical, no en el estilo de juego ni en la táctica, sino en la actitud de los jugadores en el día de hoy.
Vamos a ver si eso se concreta.
Sí, te decía que Eduardo Juni, que Brasil tuvo dos arranques bien diferenciados en los dos partidos anteriores frente a Venezuela. Comenzó muy bien, firmó quizás el mejor cuarto de hora de fútbol que vimos a Brasil en el campeonato, y en cambio contra Paraguay estuvo excesivamente espeso.
Sí, efectivamente, viendo lo que han comentado los jugadores, cómo han sido los entrenamientos, también viendo estos primeros detalles de los jugadores de Brasil, pues yo espero, Luismi, unos primeros minutos muy parecidos al primer partido de Brasil ante Venezuela. Fueron minutos muy buenos que principalmente destacaban por la agresividad a nivel defensivo. No permitían que el equipo rival, en el caso de Venezuela, sacara el balón jugado. Querían robarlo cuanto antes. Tuvieron 2 o 3 ocasiones de gol, pero los jugadores de Brasil pues quizás quisieron adornar demasiado la acción. Pato, Robinho, Neymar tuvieron jugadas de gol y quisieron colocarlo. Hoy no creo que pase esto. Hoy creo que va a haber agresividad en defensa, van a ir a robar rápido el balón y hoy veremos disparos con potencia.
Enfrente a una selección ecuatoriana que está siendo sometida a unas críticas feroces por la prensa y por la afición ecuatoriana. Recordemos que Ecuador solo suma un punto, que empató en la primera jornada con Ecuador a 0 y después perdió ante Venezuela por la mínima, por un tanto a 0. Se dice desde Ecuador que en caso de perder, en caso de debacle de la selección ecuatoriana hoy ante Brasil en Córdoba, podría ser el último partido de Reinaldo Rueda, el técnico colombiano, al frente de la selección ecuatoriana.
Todo preparado ya para que comience el partido en este estadio Mario Alberto Kempes de Córdoba. Match ball para Brasil, que recuerden va a jugar con Julio César Suárez en la meta, línea de 4 en defensa para Michael, Lucio, Thiago Silva y Andrés Santos, Ramírez, Lucas Leiva y Pablo Enrique Ganso en la media, por delante Robinho, punta de ataque para Neymar y Alexandre Pato. El colegiado del partido va a ser el uruguayo Roberto Silvera, y en Ecuador también van a jugar Elízaga en la meta, Reasco, Araujo, Erazo y...
The final act in the group stage of the 2011 Copa America, and Brazil know they had better start performing. The defending champions have drawn their first 2 games in Group B, and while another draw tonight against Ecuador would be enough to get them into the quarter-finals, Brazil really want a decisive victory to keep the critics at bay. Ecuador still looking for their first goal here at the Copa, require a win and nothing less. Should they succeed, the unthinkable would occur. Brazil would be out. Earlier, Venezuela came back to draw 3-3 with Paraguay. It was an incredible match in Salta. Derek Ray with you here on ESPN from the Mario Kempes Stadium in Córdoba, Argentina's second largest city. Brazil are rather hoping to do an Argentina, or if you prefer, a Uruguay, since both of the aforementioned countries drew their first 2 matches before recording liberating wins at the 3rd time of asking. Brazil tonight make a couple of changes from the side that came back to draw 2-2 with Paraguay at this same venue. Jadson, one of the scorers in that topsy-turvy game, drops to the bench. Robinho returns to the starting 11. The other switch is at right back. Maicon makes his first start under Manu Menezes. Dani Alves, following an error-strewn match against the Paraguayans, is the odd man out. Ecuador are still without their top player, Antonio Valencia of Manchester United. Segundo Castillo is relegated to the bench. Both Oswaldo Minda and Michael Arroyo play from the outset. Much will depend on the creativity of Edison Mendes, the former PSV Eindhoven player, in midfield. And the players still warming up as we await kick-off time here in Córdoba. Brazil know they have to get it right. Felipe Caicedo will lead the line for Ecuador. They haven't really set the heather on fire so far in the Copa America. It'd be a massive surprise if they were to come up trumps against Brazil, but you never know in this competition. It's been a strange tournament so far. The referee is the man who sounded the 2011 Copa into action, the Argentina-Bolivia tournament opener, Uruguay's Roberto Silveira. Ecuador in their change strips, all in blue. So much at stake here in Córdoba this evening. The players have been out there for a good 4 or 5 minutes, limbering up. The officials too. Any second now, I fancy. Well, no one connected with the Brazilian national team is displaying any outward look of panic, but there is palpable tension. Brazil have underperformed up to this point. Can they erase the mistakes against an Ecuador side they've beaten 11 times out of 12 in previous Copa Americas? Pato pulling up almost immediately. Referee Roberto Silveira going in to have a look. Just a bit winded, I think. Didn't score in any of his last 5 matches for AC Milan at the end of the Italian season. Did help them take the title, win the Scudetto. 27 previous meetings in all of these two countries. 22 wins for Brazil. Just 2 defeats, 3 draws altogether. Andre Santos of Fenerbahce at left back. It's Thiago Silva and Lucio in central defence. And Maicon over there at right back. An auspicious start by Maicon, who was looking for Pato. Back it goes to Marcelo Elizaga, the 39-year-old Ecuadorian goalkeeper, born in Argentina. Oldest player on show here at the Copa America. Ganso, a cautious young playmaker for Brazil, as they look for a bit of early flow. Neymar! And he immediately pointed to the corner flag. A bit of freedom for Neymar. And up went Elizaga, trying to get his fingertips to the ball. Lucio has made his way forward. Frickson Rasso is the defender on him. Was very vocal after the draw with Paraguay. Lucio issued something of a rallying cry. It wasn't all that far away. Thiago Silva. Bright start here from Brazil. Neymar's corner. It's wrong side of the post from Thiago Silva. In previous international matches, he's yet to score for the Seleção. Walter Ayoví, captain of Ecuador, does his club football in Mexico for Monterrey. Caicedo. Benitez was inside the box. Here's Robinho. Ramirez and Lucas Leiva, key figures in the Brazilian midfield. Ramirez of Chelsea, Lucas Leiva of Liverpool. Here's Neisser Reasco. He'll be turning 34 in 10 days' time. Reliable right back for Ecuador. Roberto Araujo is the linchpin of the defence. The goalkeeper Elizaga, born in Argentina, naturalised Ecuadorian citizen. Comes to Caicedo. Brazil a bit slow in reacting. And let Thiago Silva shuffled away by Lucio. And the threat of Caicedo in evidence. Julio Cesar barking out the orders. Here come Ecuador again. Just 1 point from the 2 matches played in this group. Failure to beat Brazil tonight, and Ecuador will be eliminated. Lucas Leiva taking the tumble. Chopping challenge from Christian Noboa. Noboa it was who scored the dramatic late equaliser for Ecuador against Brazil in March of 2009. There's a South American World Cup qualifier in Quito. Andre Santos. It's his 11th successive international start. Marcelo of Real Madrid not called into the Brazil squad for the Copa America. Sort of fallen out with Mano Menezes. Wasn't too happy about Marcelo failing to make himself available for the friendly against Scotland at the end of March. Suspicions were that Marcelo was a bit more interested in his club career at Real Madrid than in the Seleção. First things first, Brazil will want to win this game. Perhaps add a bit of style to the equation. And then the next priority will be to win the group if they can. As I said, first things first. Talking of style, the Ecuadorians knocking it around with a bit of confidence and panache. Back by Edison Mendes to Osvaldo Minda, sitting just in front of the defence. Neutral support, Argentinian support with Ecuador. Haven't brought too many of their own supporters to the Copa America, that's understandable. You consider that it's 2,340 miles from Cordoba to Quito. A flight of almost 5 hours. No luck for Benitez. Robinho. Here's Pato. Neymar. Very much the rising starlet of Brazilian football, Neymar. Maicon. Switching on the afterburners. Didn't quite fall for Ganzo. Maicon doing what he does best when in an attacking position. Elizaga was there. Mano Menezes left with little choice at right back. Got to give Maicon his chance. Following a dreadful display by Dani Alves the other night. Andre Santos. Helped Fenerbahce win the Turkish title at the end of last season. Scored in the final game against Sivasspor. Offside flag going up against Ramirez just as that was developing for Brazil. Ecuador giving the Brazilians something to think about in the opening 10 minutes. There's Arroyo. Here's Cesar. He's having to reposition himself. Michael Arroyo letting fly. Vicious dip right at the end of the ball's flight. 10 minutes gone, Brazil 0, Ecuador 0. This is the final game in the group stage here at Copa America 2011. And it's great to have the pleasure of your company here on ESPN, wherever you're watching. Of course, with Thiago Silva to snuff out the danger. Lucas Leiva. Maicon. The idea was good. Robinho. Maicon. And Robinho had Neymar prepared to attack the ball. Here's Pato. Important little head flick from Walter Ayovi. Thiago Silva trying to be direct. Pato tried to play over the telling ball. Ayovi doing just enough. Mano Menezes encouraged by the start made here from Brazil. Ecuador's best finish at the Copa America, 4th twice, in each case on home soil, 1959 and again in 1993. There's Ayovi. Benitez. Caicedo, very effective at holding the ball up. Former Manchester City man. Edison Mendes. Famous ambassador for Ecuadorian football. 32-year-old. Ronaldo Rueda is the man in charge of Ecuador. Hails from Colombia. You might remember him as man in charge of Honduras at the last World Cup. Brazil trying to get men up there. Neymar was prepared to chase. Ramirez driving through from midfield. Plodding start to this competition by Brazil. Draws against Venezuela, 0-0. Against Paraguay, 2-2. Shouldn't forget that they are a team in a transitional state. And it is more about World Cup 2014 than it is about this Copa America. Of course, they have been victorious in the Copa 4 times out of 5. They won the last 2 Copa Americas. Lucas Leiva barring the way to goal. Michael Arroyo for Ecuador. Roll up for Caicedo. Last team, by the way, to start the Copa America with a pair of draws and go on to lift the trophy. Brazil back in 1922. There's Ganso directing operations. Pato. Robinho appears inside the area. He's not the only one into the clutches of Elisaga. Maicon's cross from the right, not a bit too obvious. Menezes still looking for the right Brazilian blend. Make no mistake about it. Still in the auditioning phase as far as Brazil are concerned. We're talking about auditions for 2014. A bit of confusion in the middle of that Brazilian defence. Lucio leaving it up to Maicon. Ramirez, Ganzo. And the free kick decision goes against Ganzo. So caught Oswaldo Minda. Minda of Deportivo Quito. And Caicedo for Ecuador. Dragging Thiago Silva with him. Brazil defeated Ecuador in the last Copa America in Venezuela by 1-0. Brazilian supporters looking for a bit more. Certainly a bit more in the way of adventure. Robinho. And Maicon's available. And it's straight at Elisaga. Couldn't get any dip or bend on that cross. Sergio Benitez. Judged to have been the guilty party. Andre Santos, winning his 20th cap tonight. Neymar. He's got it back from Robinho. Neymar. Scuffed effort. Well, the potential is there. Still a bit raw. Brazil are quite prepared to give the likes of Neymar and Ganzo time to mature at international level. If this were a World Cup as opposed to a Copa America, it's highly doubtful that we would see Ganzo and Neymar in the starting 11. Brazilian Football Federation, the CBF, have confidence in Mano Menezes. Want to give him time to do the job properly. It's made clear by the long-serving press officer of the CBF, Rodrigo Paiva, just the other day. No question of Mano Menezes losing his job if Brazil were to go out. Here's Robinho looking for the angle. Araujo tried to judge it for Ecuador. Now Arroyo. Benitez. Approaching the 20-minute mark in Cordoba. A draw in this match would get Brazil into the quarter-finals. They'd be there as the third-place team in this group. It's on by Andrés Santos. Ronaldo Rueda has finished just 2 wins in 14 matches as coach of Ecuador. Goals have been especially hard to come by in recent games. Mendes popping up. Menezes built a reputation for himself as a defensive-minded coach with Gremio and then Corinthians. Strange then that the international perception is that it's more true to the Samba roots, more true to attacking football than coaches such as Dunga have been. Dunga, the man who was in charge of Brazil at the last World Cup. They crashed out in the last 8 against the Netherlands. There's Neymar. Maicon trying to help it on its way. And Benitez. It's a good ball from Noboa. He likes to go forward on the left flank when he can. 62nd international appearance for Walter Ayoví. Did Monterrey win the Apertura Championship in Mexico last season? Here's Arroyo. It's Caicedo appealing for handball against Lucio, and the free kick's been given. Caicedo appealed immediately. You can see why. Arm outstretched. The first potentially testing moment for Brazil. Julio Cesar trying to get everyone organised. Noboa and Ayoví are the 2 Ecuadorian players hovering over it. And it's taken by Noboa. He couldn't quite keep that free kick down, but it wasn't so very far away. Blank score sheet here at the Mario Kempes Stadium in Cordoba. Capacity here 57,000. Robinho for Brazil. Ganso. Lucas Leiva was arriving. Here comes to Andrés Santos. This time a Brazilian shout for handball. Certainly Pato was convinced that it came off an Ecuadorian arm. Thiago Silva's header. Almost putting Lucio under pressure. Seemed to come off the arm of Noboa. Robinho looking for momentum. Ganso. Ramirez. There's Neymar. Has to run at opponents. Because that might just have come off the hand of Robinho. It wasn't the view of Uruguayan referee Roberto Silveira. couple of programme notes for you. You can see Liverpool in action against the Malaysia All-Stars on Saturday at 10:45 in the morning here on ESPN. And Spurs against Kaiser Chiefs on Saturday afternoon, 2 o'clock. Menezes doing a bit of appealing. Arroyo was the player who transgressed for Ecuador. No free kick that time. Benitez going to ground. Roberto Silveira decidedly unimpressed. Ganser. Andres Santos. Well, here's Neymar. Trying to dance his way through. Arroyo. Quietish start to the match by Edison Mendes. It's Caicedo working in tandem with Benitez. And Brazil looking a bit perplexed. But the offside flag was up. IOV over there in support on the Ecuadorian left. Says he was onside, well, certainly was close, and the pass was made. Brazil have had plenty of possession in the Copa America so far. Not to really convince. Down goes Neymar. He's often criticised for being a bit too eager to go to ground. That was the view of the Scotland supporters at the Emirates Stadium back in March. Booed him mercilessly for that reason. He was the undoubted star of the show in Brazil's 2-0 win. Andres Santos. Oh, it's an excellent ball, and there's the goal from Pato that Brazil wanted to steady a few nerves. There are those who felt that Pato would be lucky to play tonight, but he's in the side, and now he's on the score sheet. Andres Santos, that was perfection, and Pato did the rest. Elisaga didn't even move. Joy and relief for Mano Menezes and the Brazilian players. And Ecuador really up against it now. Without a goal to their name at the 2011 Copa America. Venezuela top the group ahead of this fixture. They're still in charge of the section as things stand. And Maicon motoring forward. Brazil look for a second. A flick by Robinho. And he almost released Maicon, who had continued his canter. looking for a way back. Was ambitious to say the least from Edison Mendes. Andre Santos whipping it in. And that bullet header from Pato. Brazil have the lead in Cordoba. Fifth international goal for Pato. This is 15th game for the Seleção. Ramirez using Andre Santos. A 1-0 win for Brazil. We'd see them finish second in the section behind Venezuela. That would put Brazil on a collision course with Chile. I'm sure Chile would be Brazil's preferred opponents. The Chileans have been going here at the Copa. Second Brazilian goal, a 2-0 win, 2-0 margin of victory. And then they'd be looking at topping the group themselves. But actually, under those circumstances, find themselves against one of the Group B opponents in the quarter-finals. I know that sounds a bit strange. Can happen because of the nature of the format. It would be Paraguay, Brazil against Paraguay if Brazil were to finish first. They drew 2-2 when they met just a few days ago. Here in Cordoba. Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. It's 1-0 at the moment to Mano Menezes and company. And Ecuador are by no means out of this. Rueda, they've been very much the draw specialists, Ecuador. 7 of the last 9 matches have ended in parity. Here's Neymar. And it was an illegal challenge. And a yellow card for Noboa. Ecuador ahead of this match. Led the Fair Play League here at the Copa America. Finally a yellow card for the Ecuadorians and for Noboa. Here's for Rubin Kazan. And Russia helped them win the Russian Championship in 2008 and 2009.
¡Anda a marcar, Felipe! ¡Anda a marcar! Méndez, Méndez! ¡Dale, dale! ¡Dale, Méndez! ¡Dale más!
Decisive words uttered by Elizaga. And they wait for Neymar to take the free kick. Set pair of hands from Elizaga. Lucio was trying to put him under a bit of pressure. Something of a rushed clearance. Something to catch the Brazilians out. Lucio was talking in the build-up to this match about, his words, the emblem on the Brazilian shirt being much more important than the names on the players' shirts. Team concept being stressed. IOV. Score has gone forward, but he's going to have to get back quickly. Away by Araujo. Robinho. Pato.
Dale, Lazo. Bien, bien. Bien, dale. El rebote, Benítez.
Andre Santos, the architect of the goal scored by Alex Pato for Brazil. Just under 10 minutes to go to half-time here at the Mario Kempes Stadium in Cordoba. Brazil hoping to secure a place in the quarter-finals of the Copa America. Very much on course to be there now. Andre Santos. Quite get the better of Reasco. A brief spell at Sao Paulo in Brazil. Nessa Reasco. Spent most of his career with Liga de Quito. He became the first Ecuadorian side to win the Copa Libertadores in 2008, the South American Club Championship. Maicon. And it's hit beautifully by Robinho, and he can't believe it didn't go in. It's all happened in a blink of an eye. Maicon finding Robinho, and off the post. Elisaga didn't have an earthly. But Brazil are hitting their stride. Was discomfited by Benitez. Here's Caicedo! Oh, it's gone in! Would you believe it? Julio Cesar unable to hang on to the ball. And Felipe Caicedo has scored Ecuador's first goal at Copa America 2011. And he might just have placed a significant spoke in Brazil's quest to stay alive. At 1-1 they would still be alive. It's a horrendous goal to concede from the Brazilian point of view. Lucio all at sea, and Julio Cesar won't be proud of that moment either. But take nothing away from Caicedo and the confidence to try his luck. Well, 9 times out of 10 you put your money on Julio Cesar. And it slithered away from him, and Ecuador are level. What an evening this is turning out to be. Earlier we had excitement in Salta. 3-3 draw between Paraguay and Venezuela. Looked as though Venezuela were down and out. Now it's the story of an Ecuadorian fight back in Cordoba. Small band of Ecuadorian supporters believing again. And if they were to win, then Brazil would bite the dust. Really is on a knife edge. It's the final match in the group phase. And Brazil have to start again. Pato and Andre Santos making the run. And it was Eraso just in front of his goalkeeper, Elisaga. Lucio will feel he has a bit of a turning to do after that defensive blunder just a couple of minutes ago. There's Neymar with the delivery. And it was very comfortable for Marcelo Elisaga. Benitez laying it off, looking for Noboa. Robinho. Neymar. The defenders backing off. And down went Robinho. One apiece here. Felipe Caicedo cancelling out the earlier goal from Alex Pato. One draw and Brazil would finish third in the group, behind Venezuela and Paraguay. And Lucas Leiva, here's Neymar. So difficult to dispossess. Maicon. It's come to Ganso. By Mendes, but nobody there for Ecuador. And a shock to the Brazilian system. I've got to say, the wound was self-inflicted. Lucas Leiva. To be confused with the other Lucas. The youngster, Lucas Moura, to give him his full name, the 18-year-old. Is on the bench, has appeared as a substitute in the two previous group matches for Brazil here at the Copa. Ecuador are not going to be outworked. Benitez teaming up with Caicedo, but that goes down as a dreadful blunder by Julio Cesar. Free kick in favour of Mendes. Benitez was asking the question about a possible yellow card. Mendes and IOV together. Here's IOV. Now Caicedo. Mendes looking again for Caicedo. Comes off the boot of Lucio. Oh, it's a jittery little spell this for Brazil. Arroyo. He's overzealous. Just over 1 minute of normal time remaining in the first half. Brazil will doubtless feel they have a bit of problem solving to do at the interval. Robinho, Lucas Leiva couldn't connect with it. Araujo did well for Ecuador, and the charge is on again here. Benitez looking for Mendes, support in the person of Arroyo. Arroyo wants it back. Michael Arroyo! Julio Cesar flings himself at it. IOV following up. Anxious moments for Brazil. And Ecuador have found their game. Julio Cesar knew he had to get there. Made it look more spectacular than was absolutely necessary. But IOV didn't miss by much. And Arroyo skipping short. And Ecuador are finishing this first half on a very high note. Almost had the 1 minute of added time. Brazilian supporters were no doubt hoping it would be plain sailing after Pato gave the Seleção the lead. And then back came Ecuador. Felipe Caicedo's equaliser. Only his 4th international goal. Everything still to play for in Group B here at the Copa America. Julio Cesar won't be proud of the fact that he let Caicedo's shot get past him at the interval in Cordoba. It's Caicedo savouring the moment, and Ecuador are still alive. Granted, they need to win this game, a draw won't be enough for them, but they have their first goal here at the Copa, and that is most certainly something for them to build on. A win for Ecuador and Brazil would be knocked out. Who would have predicted that scenario before a ball was kicked here in Argentina at the Copa America. Brazil attacking the goal to our right in the second half. As we look at the table now, Venezuela in top spot. In Group B, Paraguay second, Brazil third, Ecuador fourth. IOV almost trying to be a bit too fancy. Up against Robinho. Maicon preferred to Dani Alves this evening. One through of the two teams for you again. In case you have just got out of bed, if you are watching this live, no doubt with the aid of the all-important cup of coffee. No real surprises for Ecuador. Benitez and Caicedo, the front pair once again. Caicedo's goal only his 4th at international level, and this is 32nd appearance for Ecuador. IOV. Still a very mobile left-back, at the age of 31. Oh, and Thiago Silva, beaten by Benitez, scraped away by Maicon for Brazil. The Brazilians haven't made it easy for themselves in this tournament so far. If it were to finish 1-1, Brazil, bizarrely enough, would face Venezuela in the last 8. I say bizarrely enough because, of course, both Group B teams, such are the vagaries of the format. You can have two teams from the same group meeting each other at the quarter-final stage. And Caicedo taking a knock. Joust with Lucas Leiva. Brazil can just get themselves into the quarter-finals. Those will tell you that it's a brand new tournament come the start of the last 8. What happened before counts for little. Neymar felt that he was fouled. Referee Roberto Silveira from Uruguay saw nothing wrong. It is the one thing you'd like to change about Neymar's game. It'd be nice to see him get on with it a bit more. Stay on his feet a bit more. There's Ramirez. Now Ganso, exquisite ball, Neymar! Brazil's lead is restored, and the goal comes from the young prodigy. The subdued Mano Menezes. The celebration from Neymar, anything but subdued now. Menezes gets into the spirit of the occasion. And Brazil are back on a victory course. Ganso the playmaker, Neymar the finisher. The Ecuadorians had no answer to the youngster. It's Neymar's fourth international goal. Scored 28 minutes into his Brazil debut against the USA back in August. And then a pair of goals against Scotland on the 27th of March at the Emirates. But this one, by some distance, goes down as his most important international goal to date. And with that goal, Brazil, the hypothetical table, second in the group. Willy Saga was caught in 3 or 4 minds. No damage done. IOV. Ecuador have responded once. Well, they're faced with having to come back again. A 2-1 win for Brazil, and they would face Chile on Sunday. A 3-1 win or better, and Brazil would end up topping the group. Now here is Benitez for Ecuador. Can be a very difficult player to pick up. It's on the books these days of the Mexican side, America. Benitez once of Birmingham. Chucho on the back of his shirt. It's been his nickname wherever he's gone. IOV. Lucas Leiva nipping in. Maicon. Robinho trying to release Maicon. This came off IOV. Robinho with the legs of Noboa. Neymar. Ganso's pass. Some quiet spells in this match, Ganso. That's a very important ball supplied to Neymar. The 2 youngsters working in tandem. 2 Santos youngsters working in tandem. Santos, who recently defeated Peñarol of Uruguay in the final of the Copa Libertadores, the South American equivalent of the UEFA Champions League. Ganso, and then Neymar pouncing on it. Little stumble by Norberto Araujo, and that gave Neymar the chance, and he wasn't going to miss it. Lethal. Offside flag going up against Benitez. Oh, it was very close. Ecuador have never defeated Brazil at the Copa America. That's what they're going to have to do if they are to be in the last 8. Teams began the competition. The format, of course, does have its fair share of critics. All these group games essentially just to get rid of 4 teams. Brazil slow in coming out of the blocks here at the Copa. Likewise Argentina and Uruguay. But it's not how you start, is it? As the old song goes. Brazil with the lead again. Neymar making it 2-1. Pato putting Brazil in front tonight. Caicedo with the equaliser for Ecuador. But now they are chasing the game. Ganso. Robinho trying to bring the ball under control. It's away by Eraso. Riasco for Ecuador. Edison Mendes, retired from international football 3 years ago, and within a few months have done an about turn. Neymar. There's Minda for company. Put it away by Norberto Araujo. Noboa off balance. Maicon, and he gets a curve away. And Pato's header. Maicon in the starting 11 tonight, to the exclusion of Dani Alves. Pato scored once with a header already in this match. Earlier, a 3-3 draw between Venezuela and Paraguay. Venezuela coming from 3-1 down. And they are the group leaders as we speak. I'm sure Manu Menezes will be too fussy about who Brazil end up playing. If you were looking at form, you would probably want to avoid Chile, based on their performances in Group C. One guaranteed quarter-final is, of course, Argentina against Uruguay. They'll go ahead in La Plata on Saturday. Now Neymar, as Brazil try to take this match by the scruff of the neck. Robinho making his way forward, but to no avail in the end. IOV. Riasco is the fullback over on the right. And Boa is Caicedo! He's done it again! Ecuador have done it again! Mano Menezes can hardly take in what's happening. Ecuador will not die. What a loss of concentration by the Brazilian defenders. And Julio Cesar flapping at thin air. Joy for Reinaldo Rueda and the Ecuadorian players. And this man, Caicedo, has played a blinder. Back where they started again. The boys from Brazil. And the Ecuadorian players and supporters have to tell themselves they're just one goal away from potentially making it through and knocking out Brazil, the defending champions. Maicon. Here's Benitez for Ecuador. Trying to spring Caicedo, who is happy to applaud the idea. It's a very tidy challenge by Araujo. He went in on Robinho. Again, as we refer to the hypothetical table, Brazil are back down in third place. That would mean a meeting with Venezuela. Here's Neymar. Those quick feet, and the goalkeeper could only stab it out. It's gone in. Pato claiming the goal. It's a truly astonishing night here in Cordoba. Well, any way will do. They don't have to be pretty. Ecuador caught on the hop. Saga unable to field it properly. There's Neymar's shot. Well, Pato, one of the players, following up. Going to have a hard time taking it away from Alex Pato. 3-2 to Brazil now. Well, can Ecuador possibly bounce back again? Like that, Brazil move into second place in the group as the drama continues. Pressure of an illegal nature from the Ecuadorians. Little time to catch your breath in the second half. Trust this is keeping you awake. If you are watching this live here on ESPN. I don't think any extra shots of espresso are required on a night like this. And Brazil pushing for a fourth goal. Andrés Santos had made his way up there. Robinho. Ramirez. And Saga Just falls on it, well aware of Robinho's presence. This competition really has come to life towards the end of the group phase. Goals were hard to come by early on. An explosion of goals. And that's the final day of the group stage. And no free kick forthcoming. Benitez. Edison Mendes, who's usually not afraid to fire from long range. They'll have to be careful. The goal kick will be the outcome. Neymar with the shot that's befuddled the goalkeeper. So there was no work of art, this goal. Robinho and Pato together, it's anyone's guess really, but Pato wants it. Approaching the 20-minute mark in the second half. Well, what an absorbing second half it has been here in Cordoba. Two goals from Pato for Brazil, two from Caicedo for Ecuador. Brazil now looking for the goal that would enable them to top the group when all is said and done. As we speak, they're on a collision course with Chile. Forget, you can see all the quarterfinals with us here on ESPN, starting on Saturday in the evening at 8 o'clock. Coverage continuing on Sunday. That's the early match on Sunday, likewise 8 p.m. Maicon. And Joyce! Elisaga to the rescue. Plenty of power. Bit of swerve as well from Maicon. Swatted away by Elisaga. And the fourth Brazilian goal would enable the Seleção to breathe a lot more easily. Neymar takes it short to Robinho. Belted away by IOV. Ganso's pass. By Benitez. It's Mendes in pursuit. And by Ramirez for Brazil in the end. Noboa. There's Benitez. Three-2 to Brazil. Ecuador have never held the lead. Twice they've battled back from behind. Can they do it for a third time in this game? There's Reasco. Challenge put in by Neymar. Forward Cleared by Maicon. Away they go again, Brazil. Ganso. He seems to have so much time. Pato! And he elects to chip. Alex Pato on a hat-trick. Just stepped inside. Wasn't all that close in the end. Couple of lovely touches. Andre Santos. In recent times we've spoken at length about the parsimonious nature of Brazil. Tended not to concede too many goals. Here at the Copa America, after a 0-0 draw in their first match against Venezuela. They've shipped 4 in 2 matches and counting. It doesn't bode well with the knockout stages in mind. That's assuming Brazil make it. It's looking a bit rosier for them now as we move towards the final 20 minutes in Cordoba. Thundered forward by Lucio. Wasn't too fussy about where it went. Pato was putting the wind up Elizaga. Reyesco. Finally he goes down. Andre Santos is having a devil of a time remaining with him. Finally the yellow card comes out. First Brazilian yellow card. Andre Santos wasn't one of the players in yellow card danger. There goes Pato. Confirmation of the booking for Andre Santos. His first here at the Copa. If you do pick up 2 yellow cards in the group phase, 2 in the first 3 matches, then you are suspended for the quarter-finals. Here's Maicon, it's a strong run! Beautiful finish by Neymar! It's his second and Brazil's 4th! And it's hard now to believe that they're going to be denied a place in the last 8. Has had his share of worrying moments in this match, but now perhaps the Seleção can begin to relax a bit. Maicon was single-minded, was well aware that Neymar was making the run, and the finish, simplicity itself. Well, that got them all off their seats. Neymar finishing with aplomb. Well, it's a significant change in the scoreline. I say that because now Brazil might be looking at topping the group. There's confirmation in terms of the hypothetical table. Now, was that a hand? Apparently it was by Maicon. He's not having it. Well, what's the referee going to do next? Well, Maicon did have his arm by his side. It's perhaps a bit harsh. He's doing his level best not to handle. can't afford to take anything for granted in this match. Edison Mendes positions himself. Mendes for Ecuador. They'll try to wedge it in, but really troubling Julio Cesar. So at the moment, Brazil, Venezuela and Paraguay in that order in Group B. Do the Brazilians have more goals in them? Neymar. Neymar up against Reasca. Brazilians playing on despite the man down. Sprightly work from Robinho. Well, Maicon trying to make a case for himself as the first choice Brazilian right back, and that was very positive play. Neymar finishing it off. 4-2. It's gone from 3 to 5 in terms of international goals in the course of this game. Or better for Brazil, and they will win the group. And Pato's been chopped down. Free kick in a position of menace. There was the challenge by Araujo. Ganso, with 76 minutes on the clock, will trot off. We've seen his creative side again. Not for long stretches, but often enough. And the replacement is Elias of Atletico Madrid. He'll make his 8th international appearance. Meanwhile, for Ecuador, Edison Mendes is replaced by Narciso Mina, 28-year-old striker. Neymar and Andres Santos pondering this Brazilian free kick. It's Andres Santos. Deflection taking the weight off the shot. Pedasa trying to clear his lines. A minute of time. Thoroughly entertaining game of football this. Following on from the earlier match in Salta between Venezuela and Paraguay. We certainly hope this sort of football is going to carry over into the quarter-finals beginning on Saturday. Live coverage, remember, here on ESPN, Saturday at 8 o'clock. Ramirez stopped in his tracks and now uncertain terms by Minda. Not surprisingly, yellow card for Oswaldo Minda. Maicon. Just over hits it. Neymar trying to give Rayasco the run around. Linda. The Brazilians are going to make another change. In will come Lucas, or Lucas Moura if you prefer. The 18-year-old Sao Paulo player. And it's the end of the night for Neymar. And a very important contribution. Scorer of 2 goals. His first competitive goals for Brazil. So one young player for another. And this is partially what it's all about for Brazil here at the Copa America. Having a look at some of these gifted youngsters. Lucas made his debut against Scotland back in March. Ecuador trying to make inroads. Lina, the substitute, going forward. Come off André Santos. Inside the final 10 minutes. It's come out towards Mendes, and Julio Cesar managing to grab it. It was Eraso, the central defender, who tried his luck. Here's Arroyo. Well, coming off Lucio. Still third on the all-time caps list for Brazil, Lucio. 102nd international appearance tonight. He's gone past Claudio Taffarel. He has only Cafu and Roberto Carlos in front of him. He's still about 40 caps behind Cafu. Ecuador making another change. This time it'll be Gabriel Achillier, the Emelec player, to come on. Achillier making only his second international appearance. Rayasco has departed. One defender for another here. Lucas Leiva. Batter back again to Lucas. We'll have to add the Leiva part, given that the other Lucas, Moura of that ilk, is now on. Maicon, what a fine match he's had. Just waiting for the support to arrive. Wasn't the best of balls for Maicon. Sado is always reaching for it. Osvaldo Minda, making his 12th international appearance. There's Benitez, trying to get in between Thiago Silva and Lucio. Arroyo. Plenty of yellow shirts back. It's Christian Noboa. Well, they needed a much better ball, Ecuador. Chilia isn't going to deceive Julio Cesar. Ramirez. Ecuador forced to gamble at this late stage, trailing 4-2. Well, do the Brazilians have a fifth goal in their future? Robinho still able to apply the finishing touch. Substitutions coming thick and fast. No surprise to see this man make an appearance. Fred, so influential last time out against Paraguay in the 2-2 draw as a substitute. And Pato, having scored twice, like Neymar before him, is replaced. This evening's outing will have done the confidence of Pato a power of good. Here comes Fred of Fluminense. Scored against Ecuador before. Also a friendly in Stockholm back in 2006, 2-1 win for Brazil. So it does look as though it'll be Colombia against Peru, the opening quarter-final on Saturday, be followed by Argentina against Uruguay. A couple of late goals could change everything. Here's Benitez. But are still looking for a way through. Not finding one. Rueda. There's Edson Montaño at the ready. 20-year-old striker. Sunday quarter-finals. To end 4-2 here. Brazil against Paraguay. Chile against Venezuela. There's Arroyo. And Caicedo. The Ecuadorian supporters and the neutrals here in Cordoba really have enjoyed Caicedo's performance. Robinho slowing it down. Maicon. Lucas Leiva. It's a lapse by Ramirez. The player who went down. It's almost a case of job done. Rueda and his players will likely be left contemplating what might have been. To be fair, they have played their part in what has been a compelling match at the Mario Kempes Stadium. And Maicon, can he get on the score sheet? Montevani Saga has his way. Be very difficult for Manu Menezes to lead this man out in the quarter-final. Maicon full of ideas. Elisaka did well, making sure Maicon had nothing to aim at. Still Montano waits for an opportunity to come on late in this game. Arroyo. Two wobbly moments for Brazil tonight. But they've come through, it seems. And Christian Noboa will be replaced by Edson Montano. Plays his club football in Belgium for Ghent. Ecuador hoping that he'll be a key man for them at the World Under-20 Championship in Colombia soon. Brazil looking for a fifth goal, and Fred was in a position to steer it home. Fine goalkeeping by Elisaka. And added time at the end of the game. Lucas Moura did well to win it. Almost 1 minute into added time. We've been promised a minimum of 2 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Robinho. Oh, and he's got it back here. That's not going to count. Offside flag raised. Robinho thought it was his moment, his turn to celebrate, and he's been hard done to. There's half a step onside. Argentina and Uruguay drew their first 2 games, only to prevail when it mattered in the third match. Brazil came into this game here in Cordoba trying to follow suit. So one last Ecuadorian attack to withstand. Brazil have made it through to the quarter-finals, and in the end, as winners of Group B. Certainly can say that the Seleção have done it the hard way here at the Copa America so far. But a new dawn awaits, and talking about the quarter-finals, which begin at the weekend. Final score here, 4-2 to Brazil. So a look then at how things have ended up in Group B. Brazil with 5 points and a superior goal difference to Venezuela. Paraguay, one of the best placed teams, finishing third. Ecuador out of the Copa altogether. What does it mean for the quarter-final lineup? Well, there it is. Colombia against Peru will be the first last 8 match on Saturday. Then Argentina against Uruguay. Brazil will be involved on Sunday, and their opponents will be Paraguay. Let's hope for a repeat of what we saw just a few days ago, the 2-2 draw here in Cordoba. And the final quarter-final will be Chile against Venezuela. That's it from Cordoba. Hope you've enjoyed it. From me, Derek Ray. Good night.
Participación destacada de usted y el próximo rival muy seguramente Paraguay.
Que quando ganha, ganha todo mundo, e quando perde, perde todo mundo.
Cuando ganamos, ganamos todos y cuando perdemos, pierden todos. Ha sido un gran partido de mis compañeros, todos han dado algo más en el partido.
4-2 y un grande juego.
Y al final 4-2 y un gran partido.
Las declaraciones de Alexandre Pato, el hombre que ha hecho 2 de los 4 goles de Brasil.
Destacadísima su actuación, su trabajo, como bien decía Juni antes, en el aspecto táctico, en el sacrificio y en su capacidad rematadora. Hoy ha aparecido el gran Neymar con 2 magníficos goles. Felipe Caicedo.
Felipe, 2 goles en este partido, no se alcanzó a lograr el objetivo, pero dieron buena impresión.
Sí, creo que nos vamos un poco tristes, un poco dolidos, creo que podíamos dar más. Creo que podríamos haber mínimo empatado, pero bueno, el fútbol es así y nos vamos a esta Copa América, es muy triste.
2 veces estuvieron abajo en el marcador y supieron reponerse. ¿Por qué no pudieron mantener ese equilibrio durante los 90 minutos?
No sé, yo creo que pasó un poco por la concentración, nos desconcentramos un poquito, dimos espacio a Brasil y a Brasil no hay que darle ningún tipo de espacio. No creo que tuvimos carácter para empatar en 2 ocasiones, pero bueno, creo que, como te digo, nos desconcentramos y creo que por ahí pasó.
Gracias.
A ti.
Bueno, la verdad es que sale Ecuador eliminado, pero Caicedo muy valorado más todavía después de estos 2 goles a Brasil, después de su excelente partido. Siguiendo con el análisis de Brasil, Juni, pues destacar, más allá de lo colectivo, también la tremenda capacidad de sus mejores individualidades. Partidazo de Neymar, partidazo de Pato, grandes detalles de Ganso, enorme Robinho y exuberante Maicon.
Sí, yo creo que la línea ofensiva ha sido impresionante, ¿no? Los laterales también, quizás mejor Maicon que Andrés Santos, que se ha incorporado poco, pero a nivel colectivo creo que el equipo ha mejorado mucho. A nivel actitud, el equipo ha estado mucho más metido y bueno, esperamos que esa evolución siga para el próximo partido de cuartos de final ante Paraguay.
Nos marchamos, ha sido un placer. Juni, Luismi, muchas gracias. Gracias también a todos ustedes. Recuerden que volvemos ya el sábado con los cuartos de final. Colombia, Perú y Argentina, Uruguay. El domingo, Brasil, Paraguay y Chile, Venezuela. Hasta la próxima. Buenas noches.